a quick look at this early slate. I'm sorry, at the main slate for the NBA tonight. Sorry about that. I'm a little out of sorts. We had a little bit of a technical issue trying to get on YouTube here, so hopefully it's working for you guys now. Just going to do a quick preview about tonight. We'll be live later at 6 Eastern to go through the slate in more depth. Right now, we actually don't have a whole bunch of Q tags like we've had, but we know the NBA these days. It could obviously change at any moment. So anyway, we're going to talk through the slate. I'm going to go game by game. It's a 6-game slate on DraftKings. It's a bigger slate. It's they have the night games on FanDuel, so it's the 8-gamer, actually 9-gamer, I believe, over there. But I'm just going to go through each game and talk through that. For what it's worth, I really like this slate. Actually, I think it's a really fun one. It's a nice 6-gamer, and it's 6 and then 8 on FanDuel. This is a great game to target. I feel like this Detroit-Chicago game, and I have Levine. He just barely didn't set him as a core play, but I think he's like the best play from the Bulls in tonight's game. I do like Vucevic a little bit as well, but I'm not getting too much else in my early builds. I was just trying to hand build a little bit, and those are the two that I ended up on the most. If you wanted to talk yourself into Kobe White, Patrick Williams has been a lot better this year fantasy-wise. I don't mind it, but I think there's other places you could find value, and I don't think you need to go anywhere else. I really like Levine and Vooch, and I like the idea of running it back. We've seen a whole, Cade has been unbelievable this year. I love Cade as a run back, like Ivy. If you're not going to play Cade, I would say, I don't think you have to set a rule to say play one of these two, but I do think that that's probably what I'm going to end up doing is playing one of Ivy or Cade, one of Vooch or Levine on the other side. And I'm interested in Durant at low ownership a little bit. That's the other play. Remember, the Bulls are still playing with the fastest pace in the NBA. Their defense has been really poor. This is a game that I definitely want to target, even though I didn't have any players set as my core from this game. I think it's a game that we definitely are going to, as Sheets would say, do some business in a little bit later on today. Philadelphia at Miami. It's basically impossible for me. I don't understand why the projection's even so low. I love McCain, and I actually should, I'm going to set him as a core play. I forgot to add him at first. But the guy's been incredible. Rookie of the year for sure at this moment, if we had to pick one. And with Noah Embiid, I think we have to, obviously no Maxey. I think we have to just keep playing this guy until he gets to be about 6,500, 7K at least. This still feels a little bit too cheap for him. Don't mind Paul George, but it's not like a desired target for me that I'm going after. I think taking a chance on KJ Martin makes some sense, but I probably am not going to end up there just because I think there's other value that I like a little bit better in that Indiana game, which we'll get to in a little bit. But definitely like McCain here. On the Miami side, really hard to know. This is one of the big Q tags. Is Butler going to play tonight? If he's out again, I do think we can go right back to Hero or Bam. I think both of them are very valuable, but I actually think Bam is probably the one I end up on. Even if Butler plays, I think Bam is a reasonable enough play. And we know Kevin Love can put up a ton of points in a hurry. So let's just wait on the Butler news. But as of right now, nobody who quite fits the priority build. But if Butler's out again, I do think that we'll have some interest in Miami. If he's in, I don't think I'm going to get to him. Really uninterested in the Washington side, which I was sort of hoping to get to a little bit of tonight. And the only play that I have as a note here is I think that both Poole and Kuzma are interesting to maybe get over the field in large field tournaments. Small buy in large field is probably the best way to approach it. But mostly it's sort of a cross-off for me at the moment, the Washington side. On the Knicks side, I love everything. You're playing Washington. You have a tight rotation. Towns is the one I said as a core play, but I have no issue. I think you're probably playing at least one Knick. But Towns and Bridges obviously stand out the most point per dollar. But I don't mind if you're not going to play Towns, flipping it and going for the lower ownership of Jalen Brunson. Towns is still the one I'm probably going to end up with in my biggest stuff. And I think that Josh Hart would be my next favorite play. I think this is a really good game environment for Hart. His price is a little higher than we're used to paying for him, but you just can't match these minutes. Look at these minutes projections. I mean, it's ridiculous. It's 40, 42, 38, 37, 35. You just aren't getting these minutes anywhere else. So I love the idea of making sure I get to at least one Knick. As I mentioned, my favorite is Towns, and he's been incredible this year. I feel like they should be making him like 10K at this point, but they aren't. So I think we have to keep playing him. Indiana, Toronto, probably my favorite game on the slate. I like the Chicago-Detroit game as well, but we obviously have to wait on the Miles Turner news, but you can see all the outs, with no Nembhard, Shepard, Wiseman, Nesmith. McConnell's going to look like a great play. Going to be really, really hard to fade him in any format, in my opinion. Obviously, you start your cash builds with him. And I love Siakam back in Toronto. I think this is a great spot. Not even just narrative-wise, 7,200. Toronto's a terrible defensively. I think that whether Turner plays or not, Siakam is a tremendous play. So McConnell, Siakam, at least are going to be in almost all my lineups. I have no issue with going to Halliburton as well. Those would be my favorites. And then I think Mathurin at low ownership, if you wanted to tell yourself a story that someone else who could really get there. Mathurin, we know he's got a wide range of outcomes, but he's been over 40 in 3 of his last 4 games. I don't know why we wouldn't take a shot on him here. So I love Mathurin for tournaments. This is the game I think that you want to target the most. You just have just a great pace, highest total, and 2 poor defensive teams. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with Magbo yet. I'm still debating on that one. I want to, see a starting lineup. I want to decide. He's not even going to start. It is most likely, but I get it. I just don't think you have to do it. I think there's other value that I like better. This guy, the projection just seems like a little bit too high for me. I mean, he hasn't hit this number in a while. I understand there's guys who are out, but I think we're making a lot of assumptions by playing him. I'm not going to play him at high ownership as of right now. I might change my mind a little bit later. We'll talk about that at 6 Eastern. RJ Barrett, I have tagged as a core play. I think Barrett is an awesome play tonight. I think that he's basically playing power forward and point guard. He's going to be creating most of the offense. Barrett's the one I have the most interest in. He's coming off of the 68 at Boston. I think this is a really, really good spot, and I have him tagged as a core play. But if you wanted to go different, I do think Grady Dick is a solid enough play at 6,300. It's a great matchup. Remember, great pace. Grady Dick has a wide range of outcomes, so I don't like to play him when he's above 10% owned. I usually like to play him when he's a little bit lower. But I think I can take a shot here depending on where we really think he's going to be. The projections don't necessarily love him, but I think that it's an interesting play to get a little different. And then Podol, it's just weird to see him at this price. I get it. He put up 52 and 61 the last 2 games. So why would I say not play him against Indiana? I just don't. I don't know. I don't feel like his median range is going to be in that 50 range. But I think you could play him in large field tournaments. For me, I'm not getting to much more than Barrett, a little bit of Grady Dick, and then I think Davion Mitchell is an interesting play. He's been getting the minutes. Obviously, been starting for the Raptors. It's not like an incredible price, and he doesn't do as much offensively. The usage is still very low. But I'm considering it just to try and get different. I really want exposure to this game. I think it's just a good idea to be a little bit overexposed to this game in general. All right, Houston at Milwaukee. Nothing stands out from a projection standpoint. I would just say that I like Şengün here. I probably play more Şengün than most people, and I like Fred VanVleet. I think they're both a good enough plays tonight. Şengün has put up 50 in 3 of his last 4. He's been over 45 his last 5. It feels like the projection is a little bit low on him. So I'm gonna actually take a look at what Sheets has got him at. Sheets has got him at 41 also. I think this projection is a little bit low. So I'm on board with playing one of VanVleet or Şengün, but nothing else is really doing it for me on the Houston side in this one. And then we have the obvious Giannis play, but he is 12K now. Lillard should be back, so I think I'm probably off of Milwaukee at the moment. I thought early in the day I was going to be playing Giannis, and then with Lillard probable. I think I'm not going to end up there. Yeah, is it interesting on a small slate to play him at low ownership? Sure, he could put up another 97, and it wouldn't surprise me. I mean, he's averaging 78, but that's been without Lillard. 78 without Lillard. With Lillard back, I think I'm probably just off of the Milwaukee side for right now. I might change my mind a little bit later because it is appealing to play Giannis on this small slate at low ownership. Orlando at Phoenix. Love Franz. That's pretty much all I have from them. I don't mind if you want to take another shot with Batatse, but I have Franz as my priority play in this game. The guy's been just absolutely incredible in the games that have stayed close. I mean, look at he's put up 63, 47, 55 his last 3, and we're projecting at 47. I think that's a fairly conservative projection. Love Franz here tonight. I think that he's another one that I want to actually go out of my way to play. Again, Batatse, I have no issue, yes or no. It's not a priority, but it's a guy I certainly wouldn't mind getting to if I ended up there. Just not going out of my way to do it. On the Phoenix side, let's just jump over there. Excuse me 1 second. On the Phoenix side, nobody looks great point per dollar. They got Booker all the way up at 9,500. Makes sense. He put up 65 in the last game without obviously no KD still. Osho Ighodaro, I'm again open, but it's not somebody that I have projected as quite as well as Saberson does. It's fine if you need the extra value. I'm more interested in Grayson Allen here, actually. I don't think he'll start anyway, but he did put up 26 in the last game, played 24 minutes. This is not a great matchup, but it is a good spot because there's just the usage has to go something to between Booker, Allen, and Nurkic pretty much. So I'm not like trying to go out of my way to play these guys, but I do think that Allen is probably the one I'm the most interested in. Just kind of interesting to think he was going to be like 75% owned the other day when he got announced out on Friday. Did end up playing on Sunday yesterday. I assume he'll play again today, but I do like Grayson Allen. So still have some sort of scattered thoughts. I'm going to run some builds in a little bit, and I'll probably firm up my thinking a little bit later. But that's just a quick little previews for you guys. Hope everyone has a wonderful